Latah County's first COVID death, and the positivity rate of cases has increased by what percentage?
How many have voted in the general election with a week to go? Murrow News 8 starts now.
Studios on the campus of Washington State University. This is Murrow News 8.
Good evening, I'm Ariel Yacobazi.
And I'm Cameron Limes. Welcome to Murrow News 8.
Whitman County now has one new COVID-19 related death. Since Tuesday, there have been 5 new cases of COVID-19 in Whitman County. Most patients are over 60 years old.
14 new cases of COVID-19 have been confirmed in Latah County since Tuesday. According to Pullman Radio News, this brings the total number of cases up to 915 since the pandemic began.
Amy Coney Barrett has been confirmed to the Supreme Court as of late on Monday evening. Barrett will be the 115th justice appointed to the Supreme Court. This is the closest a justice has taken office to an election. Barrett is expected to begin work on Tuesday.
Whitman County is experiencing a higher voter turnout this election. According to the Moscow Pullman Daily News, over half of Whitman County voters have already returned their filled ballots for the general election. As of Monday, about 46% of statewide voters returned their ballots, which is more than double the percentage of who returned their ballots 8 days before the general election. If you haven't returned your ballot yet, there's a ballot drop box located in Pullman and Colfax. You can also use any USPS location or drop box.
The Whitman County Sheriff's Office believes the last month's blaze in Wowowie Canyon was intentionally set. According to Pullman Radio News, while no one was hurt and there were no structural damages, deputies and the City of Pullman's fire investigator found evidence that someone started the blaze on purpose. The area has seen a number of suspicious fires in the past. Volunteers have responded to 10 previous fires in 2018. The Sheriff's Office is continuing to look for any possible connection between the September fire and any previous fires.
Coming out of Pullman Radio News, the Pullman administration will not ask the school board to begin reopening process during Wednesday's meeting. Pullman school children are the only ones in Whitman County that have not returned to the classroom. Pullman School Superintendent Dr. Bob Maxwell released his reopening plan on October 9th. The phased reopening plan begins with preschool through first grades receiving a mix of in-person and online instruction, and additional grades through grade 5 would return to the classroom with a hybrid format every 2 weeks.
Local Idaho Congressman Russ Fulcher is set to visit Moscow on Thursday. The Republican hosting a series of in-person meetings across Idaho's 1st congressional district. The Freedom Tour includes a stop in Moscow from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m.
Whitman County Public Health Director Troy Henderson announced his resignation. Henderson will take a new job as Department of Defense. Henderson has spent 7 years leading with Whitman County Public Health. His last day is set for November 15th. County commissioners expected to appoint an intern director to take over the department the following day.
Coming up, the Pullman Council got its first look at the 2020-2021 budget.
And what tragedy happened during the first snow of the season? Murrow News 8 will be right back.
This is the story of a boy who didn't talk for a long time. The boy liked things to always be the same. Any changes would scare and upset him. The unknown was an unfriendly place. The boy was very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where they couldn't get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. He wasn't trying to be mean, it just made him feel uncomfortable. Sometimes he would flap his arms again and again.
One day, I found out I have something called autism. My family got me help. Slowly, I found my voice and learned all the ways I could live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Halloween this year might look a little bit different than most due to the rise of COVID-19 cases. We have Murrow News 8 reporter Kylie Gibson live in Pullman. Kylie, what can you tell us about Halloween?
Thank you, Ariel. Yes, Halloween might look a little different here, especially on Greek Road due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Health experts across the nation are urging people to consider celebrating from home this year. I talked earlier with Eric Lofgren, an infectious disease expert here at WSU, who explained why people should take caution while celebrating from home this year.
Fairly high rate of COVID-19 transmission in the Pullman community. And if you think about how we think about social distancing and trying to keep people apart, going door to door, visiting people and having close contact, reaching into a shared bowl of candy or something like that, or going to a party are all things that sort of violate that sort of notion of how we help prevent COVID-19.
Lofgren also explained that if people do decide to go out and celebrate this,
the Pullman City Council had its first look at the 2020 to 2021 budget on Tuesday, spending most of the time discussing two unbudgeted items. According to the Moscow Pullman Daily News, the proposed general funds for the 20 to 2021 are $24.6 million. This is a 3% decrease over the original 2020 budget. There's also a discussion of a new event center of Lawson Gardens being built, as well as a new fire station. Bond money is available for both projects, but they weren't included in the 2021 budget. Finance Director Mike Urban said, quote, "I didn't want to put a number on the budget because it's a bad strategy," end quote.
Due to the snow last Friday, many trees on the U of I campus have taken massive amounts of damage. According to the U of I Arboretum Superintendent Paul Warnick, this is the worst damage he has seen in 20 years. More than 5 trees had to be removed and 25 will require major surgery. And speaking of that snow, some of the snow earlier in the week, but there is clear skies on the way. We have Andrew Bartline at the weather wall. Andrew, how's the rest of October looking for us?
Yeah, you mentioned some snow in Moscow knocking those trees down, but clear skies today. It's really burned most of that off. Now, our high today is 55, a low of 30. We're going to get below freezing overnight, but as we move into tomorrow, we're going to see that low is going to bump up above freezing. So potentially you might not have to scrape your car out on your morning commute, and those roads are likely to be a little bit wet as we have some fog overnight. But it's not going to bother you too much as long as we do stay above freezing as we're projected to. Clear skies tomorrow as well. We are losing 4 minutes on our daylight as we're getting toward that equinox, but nonetheless about 10 hours of daylight is what we're going to have. No state map today, unfortunately, but on the west side of the state, it's about in the 60s. As we move into central Washington, Yakima, their high is 59. If you are an at-risk group, though, with some lung problems, a heart condition, there is a weather stagnant warning there. Not a whole lot of wind in central Washington right now, so at-risk groups need to be cautious. There's some pollutants in the air. They're waiting for some winds Friday. They're going to come and blow that out. If we can get to our 5-day forecast, we're going to see that us as well, we're going to have some winds on Friday. A high of 55, a low of 30 is what we're going to have that day. So those winds are going to help Yakima out. For us, it's just going to make it a little bit colder. That's pretty much all that's happening on the way. As we get later in the week, Saturday and Sunday, it's going to be a little bit cloudy. That wind's bringing it our way, though Sunday it's going to burn off. So maybe for Halloween, you can have some spooky themes with the clouds, a little bit overcast skies. It'll chill out a little bit, but at the end of the weekend, it's going to be some good weather. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Andrew. Coming up, how the Dodgers World Series celebration became a possible COVID-19 event.
Alex Biviano will join us with the sports updates when Murrow News 8 returns.
It's okay to be scared. You don't have to be so strong.
Strength is not optional. This is my mother, my purpose. Real muscle is lifting her spirits between bedpans and bad news from doctors that doubt her strength. Strength is buried in bills, managing meds, and swallowing those moments of, Mom, it's me, your daughter. Remember? My strength is super, but I'm still human, right?
Look who's here. There she is. Hey, thanks for your patience.
How you feeling?
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community, or call 1-877-333-5885.
Hello, I'm Alex Viviano with your Murrow Sports Update. The City of Angels and City of Champions once again. The LA Dodgers ended a 32-year championship drought last night after beating the Tampa Bay Rays 3-1 in Game 6 of the World Series. Shortstop Corey Seager, the younger brother of Mariners third baseman Kyle Seager, won World Series MVP. He's the first person since 2011 to win both NLCS MVP and World Series MVP in the same postseason. This is the Dodgers' 7th World Series title and first win after the 3 of the prior 4 championships. World Series champion LA Dodgers third baseman Justin Turner tested positive for COVID-19 during Game 6 of the World Series. Turner mysteriously left the game in the 8th inning, but came back on the field to celebrate with the team's teammates after the final out. Turner says he's not experiencing any symptoms and feels great. The MLB opened an investigation Wednesday on whether the Turner broke quarantine protocols. We move over to the hardwood. The Philadelphia 76ers have switched from the process to small ball. They're in the process of hiring former Houston Rockets executive Daryl Morey to be their new president of basketball operations. Morey joins Doc Rivers as the new face of the Philadelphia front office. Coming back to Morey's old home, the Houston Rockets are hiring former Mavericks assistant coach Stephen Silas to be their next head coach. Silas replaces Mike D'Antoni, who mutually agreed to part ways after another second-round defeat this offseason. WSU head coach Nick Rolovich says he has chosen a starting quarterback. Rolovich says he's told the player he would be starting next Saturday at Oregon State, but has not told the media who he plans on starting. The QB competition has been a 3-man battle between redshirt sophomore Cameron Cooper, redshirt freshman Gunnar Cruz, and true freshman Jaden DeLora. Murrow News 8 will be right back with information on thriving and surviving inspirational event happening soon.
Welcome back. Registration is now open for a free Thriving and Surviving inspirational event on October 29th from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m.
This online event will give people fresh ideas for thinking outside the box to release everyday pressures to give tips on long-term success. The event is free to attend, but you must register before attending.
Thanks so much for watching. If you missed anything in this or any of our previous newscasts, you can always watch us on our YouTube channel.
More news can be found at nwpb.org/mn8, and you can follow us on our Facebook and Twitter. Have a good night.